All right, head coach and general manager of the Medicine Hat Tigers, Willie Desjardins, joining us here on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Willie, I've wanted to catch up with you for a long time here. You're just back from Kenya, which is interesting. I take it that wasn't a scouting trip.
No, scouting for different animals for sure.
Let's go to the Memorial Cup first. And, you know, everybody is rooting for you guys because you're the Western representative. You're going from the league. Spokane gives you a little bit of a battle. You get through them. Then you get to the Memorial Cup, and we've seen it so many times. It's like, just get that bye into the final, which you guys get. But unfortunately, you come up short in the final to a very good, team from London, no doubt about it. When you go back to that Memorial Cup, and if you have, would you have done anything different, or was it just one game showdown and that's the way it goes?
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's one game. I think if you look at it, we needed the bye. We were beat up. And that's the hardest thing coming out of our league. But, Wiseloud and McKenna were both beat up, and Lindstrom and Basha, I was trying to get them back in the lineup, but they were, they both missed basically the whole year, and they weren't quite ready. They were 2 weeks away from being ready. So it was just what we had. But saying that, we had a really good group, and, in the finals, I think London only got 24 shots. I'm sure they hadn't been held to 24 shots in 2 years. So it wasn't that. And we had a great start. They all thought that we'd be rusty with the layover, but we had a great start. We just didn't score, and like you said, they had a really good hockey team. It wasn't so much us; it was just that they had a really good team.
You've been around the league a long time, whether it's playing or coaching. Where would this team have ranked, Willie? For maybe it's a tough question, but just the makeup of this team, what you guys had to go through, and where would that rank?
Well, the crazy thing about that team is I didn't think we were an exceptional team. Like, when I looked at us, like we lived off our power play and McKenna's line quite a bit, and we were a little bit thin, and that's why we really needed Basha and Lindstrom back. But if you look at our record after, the trade deadline, I've never ever seen a team with a record like that. I don't know. It was crazy. Like, it was, I have no idea. Like, it was 35 or whatever, 4-2 or something like that. Like, it was an amazing record. So, saying that, we won a lot of games in that stretch where, teams could have beat us, but we found a way. And that's really, really impressive when you have a team that finds a way to win.
You had a goalie in Harrison Mennigan too. Like, I know the unfortunate situation of him losing his young father during the stretch run and that, and then him bouncing back and carrying you guys through. Like, that story again, a guy that's been through so much, probably something that you haven't dealt with as well as a head coach and GM.
No, it was really hard because Calgary and us had fought for a long time for first place. It came down to the last game of the regular season, and we had to win in Calgary. And Mennigan had an unbelievable game, like unbelievable. And then that happened right at the game. So it was such a high to such a low. And the Mennigans are such an outstanding family. Like, it's unbelievable. So it was, I don't know what you can't say. No, there's no words to explain how devastating that was, but they're an amazing family. And anyways, for Harrison to battle through, and it was a rally cry for the team too. Like, it was interested in game second round, I think. No, maybe it was the first round. We were in the second round, and I asked McKenna, and he had a really, really good first and second round. I asked him what the highlight was for him up to that point. And he said Mennigan shut out in game one. Wow. So it was pretty good to hear how the guys rallied for each other.
I think just on that, just people around the league and anyone you talk to too is just really rooting for him, rooting for you guys because of that story and just an unfortunate circumstance, like you said. All right, Willie, the big news a few weeks ago, it was made official. Gavin McKenna is going to play at Penn State, leaving Medicine Hat, going to NCAA. When here in Regina with Braxton Whitehead coming out mid-season, it was it was a big thing here. When did you really know? When did you really think that Gavin was probably going to be gone after this season?
Well, as soon as the first guy left, you know that they're going to come after him hard. Like there's nobody they're going to come after harder. So, so as soon as that happened, we knew there'd be teams looking at him. But Gav was pretty loyal. Like he's an unbelievable family. Like he's got a great family. He's a really good young man. And I think in lots of ways he wanted to stay. I don't think he had any desire to leave. So I think it was hard. But I think there was quite a bit of money thrown his way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And there's things that he just thought that might help him, and we were excited to have him for the time we did.
Yeah.
And I think I think he enjoyed himself in Medicine Hat, and I think when he leaves the Tigers, he leaves with being a really high-rated player.
Yeah.
So I think we're proud of what we did to develop him, and it's an outstanding family. It's really, really too bad that it worked that way for our league. And
all the guys you've coached, and you got a real special talent, but there's been a lot of other special talents that you've been around, whether it's in the pros or in junior. Can you pinpoint? Is it his hockey IQ? Is it his want level? His compete? What is it with him, Willie? Well,
his vision, probably his vision of the ice. Mm-hmm. And with his vision, it's his ability to make the plays of that vision. Like, he did a couple things like you can't even teach it. You can't even you can't dream it even. It's just something that the gifted ones have, that they just come out of nowhere to do it. And he has that ability. And with that, he's very athletic. Like he's got a great stick. And with that, he's not a young man that accepts being average. He wants to be great. And, that's a great combination to have.
With you guys now in the Tigers, and, I've talked to other teams around the league, general managers, coaches, front office, scouts, and all that, and they're saying, coming camp here to fall camp, we're going to have the most American kids coming up than we've ever had. Is that going to be the same thing in Medicine Hat for you guys?
Yeah, for sure it is. It's harder because of the lists we have. We all have guys in certain age groups, mm-hmm. But all of a sudden we're losing guys from middle age groups, and the only way and everybody's got all the Canadian kids, so the only way to replace them is to try to find some older American kids to fit that age group. So I think there will be some more American players in the league.
Do you think this is still kind of a few years away from really settling and how it's going to work? And, maybe there is going to be more agreements down the road between the NHL, the CHL, and NCAA. Do you think it's just it's still so new that no one really knows how everything is going to work?
I agree with that. I think for sure there's lots of things like where does a 17-year-old fit in to play against a 24-year-old? Mm-hmm. Like, their talent might be better, but they're just not as old and strong. So there's going to be a lot of people watching and learning this year. And, and next year there'll still be some experiments. And then the year after, I think it'll probably have settled out.
But I think at the end of the day, like you said, you kind of alluded it to earlier, when you go back to your days, your 1973-74 Moose Jaw or Swift Current Broncos, and if someone comes with a big offer to go play NCAA, I think we all would have taken it, wouldn't we, Willie?
For sure. You always look at, but you also have to look at development. It's one thing to get something now; it's another thing for your development. So I think that's always the key for players is where are they going to develop? And I really don't think there's a better development league than the Western League. And I'm saying that honestly, not just because I'm part of it. I just think that. And I think, and I think that's why we'll continue to get the best young talent. It's because we do a really good job of developing.
Do you think it'll just be a little bit of a younger league? Skill will be high. Like you said, we said the American kids are going to come up. Or will teams maybe start to pluck some older players that maybe were playing the junior A route?
Both. I think that there'll be more of the top end young guys with the league, and there'll also be a few more older players. And teams it'll be really interesting. As your first pick. When you're going through the Bantam draft, is that going to be a guy that will maybe be gone when he's 18 or 19? And you might want a guy that you think will be around longer, because their big impact will be 19 and 20. So there'll be lots of things that are going to change with it. But that's been, a fact before as well. But, there'll be a lot of thought going into exactly what type of player and you want, to kind of make up your roster.
Well, Willie, I appreciate you taking some time. I know it's kind of the off season for you, and you probably want to get away from hockey, but I totally appreciate it. We'll let you get back to maybe golfing down there in Cypress Hills.
Sounds good. You have a great day.